Hey guys and gals, and welcome back to the 3B Podcast, Episode 2. Today we will be talking about the divisional championship games this past weekend, as well as our Super Bowl predictions. We will also discuss some recent news, NFL awards, and some NBA news as well. Well guys, we got the first episode out of the way. Now we're on to the second. So why don't we just dive right into it? So, these past games, this past weekend, they were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the weekend before, they were close, decided late. Some really good performances as well. Matthew Stafford played good.
Yep.
So let's talk about the Rams and the 49ers first. So the score of that game was 20-17.
Mm-hmm.
Braden, what were some of your thoughts on that game?
I think Jimmy G played pretty well. He had a lot more attempts than he did in his last game. He had 30 attempts, 16 completions. That's not the best percentage, honestly, but he still had 2 touchdowns, 232 yards. I wasn't disappointed. I was really impressed with both Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. I think Deebo gets a lot of the coverage for that game, but I mean, Brandon also had 4 receptions for 69 yards, whereas Deebo had 4 receptions for 72. And but Deebo also had the 7 carries for 26. So he's very versatile in that way. But I think they did a great job. They got up early and then they kind of just let it off, let off the gas a little bit and let the Rams come back and do what they do best. And they did that. Matthew Stafford with 31 completions on 45 attempts, a lot better than Jimmy G. 337 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I look at Cooper Kupp with 11 receptions, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. This man is looking like either an MVP or an offensive MVP for me, playing out of his mind. But Odell Beckham also had a great game, over 100 yards on 9 receptions, averaged 12.6 yards per catch. It's very good for him. But overall, it was just a good game to watch. Rams come back in the fourth quarter with 13 points. So I think that's just the big story. They hit the gas when they needed to hit the gas. Ben, what do you think about that game?
Yeah, I think it was a great game. Like y'all were saying, although I will have to disagree with Jimmy looking all right.
Okay,
I just
that's fine.
Every pass that he seemed to complete, for the most part, to me, the receiver's wide open. I don't know where the Rams secondary went. They just seemed to be all over the place. But when it came down to the time where the ball was in Garoppolo's hands, like we were talking about the week before, that's not what you want. And he threw a pick and ended the game. His decision-making, I don't know, that's something else. But overall, I was very happy with Stafford Kupp. Ride them till they die, just like some people are. Kupp is, I agree with you, he's got to win something.
Yeah, he definitely does.
The man is so good right now. His route running, superb.
Always finds space.
He does. He always finds it.
Always catches the ball.
I love seeing that right now, and I'm going to ride it until they prove me wrong. What do you think, Johnson?
Yeah, this was a good game. I think it kind of told Jimmy G's career, in essence, kind of summarized it. Jimmy G played, I agree with you, Ben. He didn't play great, but he played well enough to win early on. When it came to the fourth quarter, Jimmy G started doing some Jimmy G things and started being reckless and made some bad throws. I think he did receive a little more flack than he should have on that third down where he got the interception. It's late game. You were going to have a 4th and probably 12, 13. You take a sack right there or you try to throw it away. The dude was just trying to get the ball away. I don't know, though. I think Jimmy G showed that he's not the guy. I think Jimmy G showed that another quarterback can come in there and replace him, and they are a Super Bowl favorite team. I think if you find consistent quarterback play from whoever becomes the quarterback for the 49ers in the near future, because we'll discuss this a little bit more, but it's definitely looking like Jimmy G's gone now. I don't think there's any question about that. I think it was a good game. I think the Rams showed their firepower when they needed to show their firepower. The fourth quarter, the Rams were down 10 or 11, I believe. I think it was it 10? I think it was 10. But either way, they were down. They came back. They made the necessary adjustments they needed to do, and they came back and they won the game. And Matthew Stafford continues to impress. He's playing well. He's playing better than I thought he was going to. I mean, I can't hate on the guy anymore. I said going in I didn't think that the Rams were going to win because of him, but they are winning because of him right now. He's playing good when he needs to play good, and he's doing what he needs to do, and he's being careful with the ball, being smart with the ball. He's getting Odell Beckham Jr. involved. Odell Beckham, I said sometimes he doesn't show up in big games. Odell Beckham showed up. 9 receptions, I believe. 113 yards. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
I mean, you had your two-headed monster at the receiving position, and Cooper Kupp did Cooper Kupp things. I think we've all agreed that I think we can all state that Cooper Kupp is now the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. Do y'all have any arguments with that?
Based off this year, I don't know.
Based off numbers, no. I think there's an argument.
What's up with this short white guy just going out and balling out? It's just, and I don't mean
as far
that
as skill goes.
Yeah,
I'd say
I don't.
There's other people who can definitely.
Yeah,
size
it's
it.
just.
But it's the knowledge that he has to get in space and the ability he has to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe his speed isn't as fast.
It's just
as some of the other guys.
you're not used to seeing, or at least I'm not used to seeing. Now we can talk about this too. I'm not used to seeing a lot of receivers from that position ball out. Like you know what I'm saying? That are that short.
He's not that short, is he?
He's pretty short. You just don't see that typically. You got your Jerry Rices, you got your Randy Mosses, your Terrell Owens.
Cooper's
it's just
6'2".
Is he really?
Yeah, he's 6'2".
He doesn't look 6'2". Okay, well, man, I feel crazy now.
No, he's not short. Odell's 5'11". He's shorter than he is.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
Well, I stand corrected.
You're good.
Man, maybe I should just shut up about sports. I was 0 for 2 this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I was 0 for 2.
Guess who wasn't 0 for 2?
And at halftime, I was feeling great about both my scores. The Chiefs, I was feeling great about. We'll talk about that later. I was feeling really good about both my scores. And then, of course, the second half happened. And for the Rams and 49ers, the fourth quarter happened.
Yeah. That's the big story on that one. I mean, that's pretty much all we say. Rams showed up.
I wasn't very surprised. I was surprised at how well Jimmy G was doing. They were making him throw the ball more, and he was doing it what he needed to do to stay ahead early on for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter happened. And then he just showed everybody why he's Jimmy G.
I still don't think they let him go, though. I think he got that far.
Oh no, Braden, they're gone, buddy.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy's gone. Him and his reps have already talked about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I saw an article the other day. He said that they're working together. Jimmy G and his team and the 49ers, they're working together to find a suitable home for him, get him gone.
Jimmy G to the Bucks? Oh, brother.
That's
a conversation
Jimmy
for a
G
minute.
to the Pats. Jimmy G to the Pats.
No.
Belichick loved him.
No, they've got their
They got Mac Jones.
I know, but
he's young. Like he's good.
Okay,
and he's
that's right. That's fair.
But Bucks. We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But
anyway, moving
okay,
forward.
so good game. Anything else y'all want to add about it?
No, but I guess speaking of young quarterbacks.
Yeah, this
what a great transition. We love it.
Yeah.
Mr. Joe Joe Shiesty.
Please
that's
stop
awful.
it. Please
that's
stop
great
it.
content.
Please stop it. I'll let you do it one time and you just completely mess it up. Joey Shiesty. Is that really
Joe
what you're?
Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I hated him against the Titans, but you know what? Go ahead and hit the sound.
Are you proud?
Hit the
Are you
sound.
proud?
Hit the sound.
You know what? You went 2-0 this week, so
I went 2-0. I'm the winner for this week.
I'll give it to you.
Come on, give me the sound. Give me the sound. Where is it at? Yeah. I got the predictions not 100% right on the score, but I predicted 17-14 Bengals, and you guys called me crazy. So this is your weeks. I told you so. You guys suck. I was only off by 10 on each side, like I said. All right, but Joe Burrow came out, did what needed to be done. He got 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 23 for 38 on completions, and the boys did it without Jamar Chase balling out. They did it without him balling out like crazy. It was Mr. T. Higgins who really showed up, getting 103 yards on 6 receptions. Jamar Chase did great. No, don't get me wrong. But Mr. T. Higgins did great. You had Samaj Perrine, I think. He had the 3 receptions for 43 yards, one big touchdown on a screen, which was awesome. And that defense, getting the interception at the end, we all thought that game was over at the coin toss. I think I called Brady and I said, all right, I may have Snapchatted him. I was like, dude, this game's over. The Chiefs are going to win. We know what Patrick Mahomes does in these situations. He can march the ball down the field and score with 13 seconds to tie the game up. But the Bengals showed up and they showed out and they did exactly what I wanted them to do, and they won off a field goal from Mr. McPherson.
Stop it. Just please
with
please
the F
stop
in
it.
fear, because he puts the fear into teams when he steps onto the field from 50, from 60, from 40.
I don't like you being right.
He is a animal, and he's a rookie. Okay, I'm so impressed, and I have so much want for this Bengals team to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, because they're young. Like, you've got a rookie at kicker, you've got Joe Burrow, you've got you've got Jamar Chase. Man, these guys are young, and I want them to win the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna pick them to win the Super Bowl. But we'll talk about our predictions later. But anyway, Ben, we'll go to you. What do you think about that Bengals Chiefs game?
I thought it was a great game. I thought the game was over at halftime. I'm not going to lie to you. It was way out of reach, what it seemed like, especially with Mahomes. They could not stop him. He was playing like he usually does, all the way up till halftime, of course. Then halftime.
You say like he normally does. This man was balling out. This man was 13 of 14 at one point for 3 touchdowns and 175 yards. And I think he increased that by halftime, got over 200, had 3 touchdowns. First half was incredible. Continue, sorry.
No, you're good. He did. That's just what Mahomes does. But the score, when it was half, was 21-10, and the Bengals just scored to make it 10. But Mahomes went all the way down the field, and I thought they were going to make it 28 right before the half, but sadly they didn't get in. And then second half switched, and I don't know what was said in that locker room or what Mahomes drank or something, man. He came out, and he did not look like Patrick, in my opinion. Granted, the Bengals did step up when they needed to. I thought Burrow took control. That's what you like to see, you know. He's a good young quarterback. I think we could all agree on that. And T. Higgins, like Mr. Wall just said, Higgins balled out. I was very impressed with Higgins. You know, I thought maybe they'd go to Boyd as the second option, but he went to T, and T did really good. But, besides the second half Chiefs little slump, Kelsey and Tyreek Hill, they did their parts receiving. They both had 9 or 10 catches apiece, just about 100 yards apiece. I thought they played great.
Yeah, I'm going to flush down both my predictions from this past weekend.
You're done.
Garbage takes. I felt good about both of them going into the second half. The Chiefs and Bengals game, the deciding play of that game was them going for the touchdown instead of the field goal. When you had 5 seconds left, I think you take a shot at the end zone with hopefully a second or 2 left. That way you can kick a field goal. The score, they lost by 3. You kick that field goal right there, we're having a completely different conversation, more than likely. I think that changed the kind of level of what's the correct word? Not joy. The level of confidence that they had. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. The level of confidence that they had going into the halftime. Going in at, say, 28 or 24-10, you're up 14 if you go up with a field goal right there.
Right.
I think the fact that they didn't score, I think that's what got them. Because think about the second half. Think about how easily they were moving the ball. I mean, they were 3 for 3 driving on their first drives. They were 3 for 3. They could not be stopped. They were perfect on third down for a while. They were like 4 for 4, 5 for 5 going, and then the second half happens, and I mean, it was just a complete change. I've never seen Patty Mahomes play so bad in my life.
Really?
I've never. Not even just what he did in the third quarter, which was absolutely nothing. I think if you look at the total yardage in the third quarter, I don't even know if they were in the positives for that quarter. Barely. I know they were at negative at one point. But he did terrible in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, did terrible. Not only did he do terrible, when it was time for him to tie the game, he almost cost his team with a fumble. He took a sack. He went from being close to the goal line to taking a sack and putting him back in like 20 or 25-yard line. Fumbles the ball.
Well, I mean, I think I agree with him on that decision because you throw the ball away.
No, Braden, come on.
If you throw the
you have a chance to tie the game for sure.
Right.
Patty Mahomes is trying to do Patty Mahomes things. I'm fine with that. But if you're about to get sacked and tackled, which there was clearly no way out for him of that situation, you get down. You don't fumble the ball.
But you also don't run the risk of extending that arm out and having the ball knocked out by a defender that's
He fumbled the ball regardless, Braden.
I know. I don't know.
I thought it was stupid. I thought it was moronic. It was something that Patty Mahomes never does, which is what never does.
He wasn't doing.
Patty Mahomes does risky things consistently. Usually is able to pull them off. This year, a little less than normal was he able to pull them off. He had more interceptions this year. He wasn't as consistent this year. He had to take what the defense gave him this year. He couldn't just bombs away 24/7, which is what he loves to do.
Right.
He had some adjusting to do. What I noticed in the second half was they started trying to play bombs away again. They started not taking what the defense gives them. He started making ill-advised throws. The interception in overtime, the throw before that should have been a pick six.
Yeah,
it was dropped.
It was dropped. Eli Apple dropped the ball. It went through his hands. That should have been game. Patty Mahomes. I will say this. I love the guy, and it upset me to watch him lose because I think Patty Mahomes is cool. Like, I don't know. I just enjoy watching the guy. Dallas Cowboys fan till the day I die. But if I had a favorite quarterback to talk about right now, it's Patty Mahomes. I just enjoy watching him play. He's a gunslinger. He goes out there. He does what he wants to do, and Andy Reid lets him do what he wants to do. But it cost them this game, and there's been multiple times in games over his career where he takes shots and somehow he gets the lucky break. He gets the lucky bounce. They don't catch it. And it seems like it started to catch up with them this year. Now I know they went on a 7-game win streak, but the 7-game win streak was not pretty. It was not pretty at all. The defense started playing well. The offense wasn't playing well. Took some adjustments. We get to the playoffs. Now they start playing like we were used to them playing. I mean, we look at the Bills and Chiefs game, crazy game, and then you go to this game. Now, Braden, I will say this about your prediction. Yes, you went 2-0 with your predictions and who won.
Correct.
But you were 20 points off with the Bengals and the Chiefs.
I was 10 points.
You
on both
were
sides.
10 points off on the Rams and the 49ers. I felt good about both my predictions until the Chiefs went out and laid an egg, man. They went out and laid an egg. I was super, super close on my Chiefs and Bengals prediction. I had it 34 to 21, 34-20, something like that.
34-21.
I felt good about it. Like, based on the halftime score, felt really, really good about it.
Do we want to talk about the interception at the very end? Not the one that Eli Apple could have gotten taken to the house, but what do we think about the final?
That's a normal Patty Mahomes throw, though.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing that he does, and that's one that Tyreek Hill. I wasn't even that upset with that throw, to be honest with you. I was upset with the one before it. I didn't think it was a great throw, but it's third down. It's overtime. Joey Burrow's going to get the ball if you don't score. And I mean, he knows how it went when he got the ball first in OT. And say you do a 3 and out, and then you punt the ball to Joey Burrow. I don't know that that's going to go well for you either. I think they're doing the same thing, regardless. And it was a 3rd and long. So
You think Tyreek should have had that ball?
I mean, I can't. He balled out in the first half. Tyreek Hill went crazy in the first half, and then was just a no-show in the second half. And part of the reason he was a no-show is because Patty Mahomes couldn't get him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, he got it. I mean, he got it in his hands, but he wasn't double coverage. And
Ben, what'd you think of that last play call and throw?
I was not a fan. I thought since it was 3rd down, why not just go for the first and keep Mahomes out there on the field? I mean, the more he's out there, the more likely he's back to Patty Mahomes things. I mean, he's got Kels, Hill, a good O-line. Edwards-Helaire did all right. I thought, why not just go for the first down on that 3rd down, and then if you don't get it, you would probably punt it further back than they originally got it from the pick. So, maybe you get a stop or something. But, I mean, granted, they probably weren't going to stop him anyways.
right.
But at least if you go for the first down instead of, like a 30, 40-yard pass down the field, your chances of getting it are higher, in my opinion.
You never planned for an interception either.
Yeah, no, you don't.
But here's and the thing, and maybe they can make some adjustments this offseason, but they live and die off of trying to get Tyreek Hill open deep. They started getting better at not living and dying by that. But
Because everybody figured him out at this point.
They reverted back to it. They weren't taking what the defense was giving them. They were playing shoddy offense. The Bengals were playing better defense. But the thing about it is, this Bengals defense was ranked low.
Oh, yeah.
Was ranked low on the season. I mean, Buffalo
Sports
had
Center
had
the
much
Bengals at 3-14 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's talk about the fact that they were a 4-win team last year. What?
Yeah.
Who all did they add significant from that team last year? Who all did they add?
What was the turning point?
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, yeah.
Is that it?
I mean, was people just growing and developing? I think they signed a couple offensive linemen, but I mean, we saw against the Titans they had 9 sacks. It's not like they were just crazy good.
But they
the
do
offensive
what
lineman
needs to be
position.
done, I guess.
I don't understand how you go from and Joey Burrow's special talent, and what he did is he hopefully woke up Patty Mahomes. Hopefully we get Patty Mahomes first year in the league that he starts. First year he starts in the league. Hopefully we get that Patty Mahomes again, the one that is able to sling it and do it, because it's just fun to watch. It's just a fun thing to watch. Now, hopefully if the Cowboys get to the Super Bowl and then we don't have, hopefully we stop it. Hopefully, every other game he goes crazy and goes nuts because I love to watch it. But then the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl. That would be amazing. But hopefully we can stop
I'm sure you'd love that.
But the likelihood of that happening is not very high.
No.
But no, I don't know. I thought this game, in my opinion, was a disappointment because I really wanted to see the Chiefs and the Rams. I think that was going to be a great game.
Can I say a fun stat for us?
Sure.
Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, college and NFL, have not lost a playoff game.
When they've played together.
When they've played together, they have not lost a playoff game.
That's true. Do you see that picture? I saw it on Instagram where he had one of the offensive linemen when he won the national championship. They did they recreated the same picture of him on the guy's shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It's the LSU Bengals. I mean, the Cincinnati Tigers. Oops.
I mean, shoot, it's starting to be, okay, if you went to LSU and you played with Joey Burrow, just get yourself down here to Cincy.
Why don't they sign the Honey Badger?
I mean, that may be a little past Joey Burrow's time, but anyways, so I mean, we had good games. I thought it was a disappointment this weekend to what I wanted to see, because I feel like the Rams and the Chiefs would have been a great game.
Sure.
And I feel like Patty Mahomes has no excuse.
For sure.
He has no excuse for that game. You have a second-year quarterback that came in here and showed you who was boss. And it's just disappointing as a Patty Mahomes guy, but yeah, so... All right, guys. So we covered this past weekend. We covered those games. So now let's talk about, I believe the Super Bowl is not this weekend, but it's next weekend.
Right.
And you know what? I saw a thing, and I agree with this. Why do we go Super Bowl, Valentine's Day? Why are they on the same, why are they at the same time? It's just weird.
Great date night. You have any
They're not the same day.
Any cool saxophone sounds on there?
They're not the same. Well, hold up. Let me look and see. I'll see if I do.
It's okay.
But I don't.
Headshot.
Headshot.
I don't know.
But
I don't know about that.
no, but I don't.
For
I saw
Valentine's
somebody was like complaining about it on Twitter. They were like, "Why did they put these two things
Together.
together?" Because it's like, I want to just think about football. I don't want to have to worry about going and buying gifts, buying
Right.
flowers, buying chocolate, especially to the.
I want to be buying
crazy
wings,
NFL.
beer, and Lay's potato chips.
Beer, Braden.
Oh.
Braden, we don't
Oh.
talk about those things on here.
Yeah. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
Let's just.
Okay, we're clean and we're wholesome. We're good Christian men, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
I can
We
drink a
live
beer.
for the Lord.
I
living
can
for the
drink a
Lord.
beer, bro. All right.
No, I agree. I agree, but we don't have. We don't need. We're a sports podcast, Braden. We're a sports podcast. We don't need to talk about beer.
Sports
okay?
and beer are closely correlated. Anyway, moving on to our Super Bowl predictions. I am
Beer's
going
gross.
to predict Bengals win off a field goal from Mr. McFear son, McPherson with an F, because he puts fear again into the hearts of the opposing teams when he steps to the line. 27-24 Bengals. What do you think, Ben?
I'm going 31-28 Rams. Although I do like McPherson, he's yet to miss in this playoffs, and I can't help but to support him. You know, he's an ex-Florida player, and hey, go Gators! But I'm going 31-28 Rams. I think it'll be close either way. I'm excited. I think it'll be a good game.
So I'm gonna go with a similar score to you, Ben. 34-27, and I'm kind of worried about Braden though.
Why? Because you think I'm right?
If Braden, I don't want Braden to be able to have this advantage over us, like talking crap that he got.
I'm
on
going to
these
get
these predictions
in
right.
3 weeks. I'll have the
Because
I told
it's
you so
clear.
again.
It's clear that us Cowboys fans know a lot more about football than him.
Oh
You
my
know, because we're
gosh.
Cowboys fans. We're not Titans fans.
Put Micah Parsons.
Shut up, Braden. We're not talking about that yet.
I'm giving a little
But-
spoiler, but I
But
can't
you know,
believe
but
that.
you know, it's irritating to see him be right, and I hope he's not right. I want us to be right, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 34-27.
Can't
I feel
wait.
like I'm gonna regret this
I
because
can't
Joey Burrow
wait
is just doing
to
Joey
come
Burrow
back on the
things.
pod after the Bengals win, bro.
But so 34-27 Rams. I think Matthew Stafford will ball out. I think OBJ will ball out. I think Cooper Kupp will ball out, and I think the defense for the Bengals will not hold up like they did in the second half to the Chiefs. I feel like there's too many weapons. The Rams, I feel like they're just destined to be here. Everybody's playing great. Everybody seems to be healthy. The addition of Von Miller is really, really helping them in the middle of that field. Took him a little bit to get used to it, but now he's playing. He's super happy. He's been here too. He's been to his Super Bowl.
Has the experience. He
He
knows.
has the experience. He can kind of talk to Matthew Stafford, be like, "Hey, I played with Peyton Manning. You know, this is kind of what he did to prepare for a Super Bowl." Because Peyton Manning is one of the greats, and I know Matthew Stafford looks up to Peyton Manning. When you have those leaders in the locker room, which is why they made that trade. When you have those leaders, he doesn't necessarily play the whole entire game, but he comes in on significant downs because he knows what to do in significant situations.
Right.
And so I think the fact that they have made some of these trades, made some of these moves, they've really, really focused on the now. They're not worried about the future as much anymore. They're focused on the now. I think that's going to show, and it's already shown. They've gotten OBJ now. They've gotten, we didn't even talk about Jefferson. Jefferson's a great receiver for the Rams. Van Jefferson, I believe is his name.
Yes.
Great receiver for the Rams. He didn't even really do much just because there's only one ball, you know. Who are you going to throw it to? You got two studs on the outside, and now you also have a third stud, Van Jefferson. Didn't even talk about him. He could very easily go out, have a 100-yard game, you know. Like that, they have so many weapons. They have so many different ways to attack you. They don't even have to run the ball. They have different running backs that can hit you. They have Akers. They have Michelle. They have another guy. But I think the Rams are just destined to win it. And you know what? I don't see a reason why they couldn't be a dynasty the way that they're playing. Unless the Chiefs decide to saddle up and start playing good again. I don't see why they couldn't keep doing this. But 34-27 Rams, I will stop my spiel. And you know what, Braden? You better be wrong. I can't take you being right. I don't want to. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you.
You can't
this
take
is
the
this
brag,
is what I
Johnson?
want. This is what I want you to do when you're talking.
What?
Shut up.
That sounded so weird, but that's what I want you to do. That was such a weird shut up.
Sorry,
But-
listeners. That was Braden's Braden Johnson's error.
I don't know, but you know what day it is?
Hump day. Yes, sir. Okay. And you know what that
Guys.
means? That means we're going to be predicting our defensive player of the year for the NFL. That's what hump day means, I guess.
Guys, I'm having too much fun
Ben,
with this. Salary sheet right
Ben,
now.
what do you? Who do you think for defensive player of the year and why?
For defensive player of the year, I'm going TJ Watt. Dude, he balled out. He got so many double teams. Led the league in sacks, I believe. Correct?
Yes.
And he did that with less games too. He missed a few games this year. But I thought the Steelers' defense was incredible. I think he played a huge part of it. The man's a beast.
Agreed.
I mean, granted, there are multiple great defensive linemen out there.
Ben, he plays for the Steelers. Stop talking good about him.
It doesn't matter what team you play for, buddy.
I mean, I hate it as much as you do. I don't like the Steelers. But he balled out, and I have to give him the credit where he deserves it. He was good. I'm going TJ Watt. What do you think, Johnson?
I want to hear because Braden. I want to hear Braden's take because he agrees. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I agree. He sets a record. He gets 22 and a half sacks, first in the league. Okay, he has 48 solo tackles, which isn't that much, but 22 and a half sacks. The amount of pull that gets for your defense, and it's crazy. And he does it. He does it all, and he's a great player. He had a crazy season, and I don't think anyone can, and no one comes close to him in sacks. And I think he deserves it. I think he's put in the work, and he deserves it. He's shown that he can be a defensive MVP, and that's who I pick.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. This is not biased, to be honest with you. Maybe it is because I watched him so much this year. Micah Parsons, the dude. I mean, you talked about TJ Watt's tackles. How many did you say he had?
48 solo.
Micah Parsons, 64.
Yeah.
How many sacks did you say he had?
22 and a half.
22 and a half. You know how many rushing attempts, or not rushing attempts, but getting after the quarterback, sacking attempts? Micah Parsons probably had less than him. A lot. Micah Parsons was dropping back in pass coverage. Micah Parsons wasn't rushing the passer every down like TJ Watt was.
That's true. How many interceptions did he have?
He had 0, but the dude was great for our defense. You could see the impact every single time he laced him up and stepped out there. He had more tackles than TJ Watt. He played coverages. He had to learn coverages. The dude's a rookie. I think he's got rookie defensive player of the year locked up for sure. But when you look at his just total impact on our defense, it was crazy. I mean, you saw what our defense was last year. Now we made some small moves. But nothing spectacular. I mean, we still had Gregory. Gregory was in and out because he couldn't stay off the weed. But
okay,
as Stephen A likes to do, I can't do it the way he does it.
Weed.
But okay,
there we go.
But I think Micah Parsons went out and balled this year, and I mean he ranked high in a lot of categories. He had 3 forced fumbles as well. The dude played great, dropped back in pass coverage. Very versatile. We moved him around the field. He played linebacker. Sometimes he played outside backer. Sometimes he played DN. Sometimes he played D-tackle. Or not D-tackle, but he'd rush from the D-tackle position. You know, just come at different angles, different shapes, different sizes, different bends, just everywhere on the field. Dropped back in coverage and did a fine job as a rookie, which is even more impressive. And I think the dude has great years to come. I think he's going to be mentioned in some of the great defensive player conversations. Lawrence Taylor, I think he's going to be up there with that. I mean, and TJ Watt, nothing. Not trying to take anything away from him. I know the dude was hurt too. Right. He still put up these numbers. He was hurt some of the year.
I think for me, you say he drops back in coverage a lot, but Micah Parsons he's a linebacker. And then that's the job. He's a drop back into coverage. And TJ Watt's an edge rusher.
You say that
he does his job.
You say that, but Micah played everywhere on the field. Micah, and you can talk to Ben about this. Ben will agree too. Mm-hmm. I don't mind Micah Parsons just staying at D end. Us moving to DeMarcus Lawrence to maybe a tackle. I feel like he's too good. I feel like we can find a decent linebacker to get him out of coverage because I want Parsons rushing every single attempt. And I know this is kind of getting off topic with Defensive Player of the Year, but I mean, as a Cowboys fan, well, I mean, we got to talk about it. Micah Parsons is a stud, and we haven't really talked about the impact that he made. Do you not agree that we should work it to where Micah Parsons is rushing the quarterback every single play?
Yes, I think he does better on the. Granted, I think he plays great overall on both ways.
He makes such a long-lasting impact.
Yes, his presence on the D line was a lot more, let's say, noticeable. Because when he doesn't rush, we don't exactly have the best front four.
Now,
So,
DeMarcus Lawrence will get after it some.
Yes,
Gregory will get it
some.
out. We have young studs, but the thing about it is they're young. They're young. So they're going to have to learn and develop. But I think we're great on the defensive line for the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, yeah, if they keep showing their promising potential that they showed this year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we have Van Der Esch and Neal as linebackers, and I'm a huge Van Der Esch fan.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
I think we can talk about maybe one more person who could fit into this conversation depending on how the Super Bowl goes, and Aaron Donald. If he has a crazy game and really turns the tide and gets a turnover or something like that, gets a few sacks, I think he's also in the conversation. Right now his odds are at plus 800, where T.J. Watt and Micah are ahead of him. Micah's actually he's at plus 350 odds, but T.J. Watt's the favorite at minus 400.
Ben, I mean, I think Ben will probably agree with me. I think for me, and it sucks for him, but when you're double teamed and when they're trying to take you away as much as they try to take you away, it really hurts your chances at Defensive Player of the Year. I don't see how he could get it. I don't think he did statistically well enough to be in this conversation. I could be wrong.
We're talking about Aaron Donald?
Yeah.
I think he fits.
Do you think he fits? I mean, if you just look at it, I mean, he's double teamed, and a lot of his numbers, they've gone down, and they're not at the same caliber. And I'm not saying he's not a great player, because he's a great player. And the reason that his stats are going down is because everybody's blocking him, making sure they have him double or even sometimes triple teamed. They get linebackers on, or not linebackers, they get running backs on him. They get defensive tackles, not defense. Why am I struggling with offensive tackles? They get everybody towards trying to stop him, and that's the main focus, and sometimes that takes away from his statistical numbers.
Yeah, I agree that he does get doubled a lot, and it does hurt his numbers because, I mean, like you said, we all know it, if you're going to double someone out there on the Rams D-line, you're definitely sending to Aaron Donald's way, which does hurt the statistics because you don't just beat one person, now you got to beat two. But stats-wise, if that's what they're going off, just numbers, then no, but he is very close, in my opinion. But if you go off Defensive Player of the Year by numbers and your value, then yes. Because, we all know he's a big threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We could move on to offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So Offensive Player of the Year, again, depending on how the Super Bowl goes, I think this is a really hot take. It honestly is. But I think the way he's been performing recently has just he's put himself into the conversation. Joe Burrow. I think he has the chance.
God, Brady,
maybe to get Offensive Player of the Year.
Dear Lord, can you just?
But my second choice.
You love him so much.
I do. He beat us. I don't know why. That was graphic in my ears. Okay, but all right. Cooper Kupp is my number 2 choice. If I had I honestly should be putting Joe as my second, and Cooper as my first. But that is extremely loud in my ears. Again,
I really didn't.
Extremely graphic. I just saw a rooster in my brain.
I didn't mean to do that one. I do apologize.
That's okay. It woke me up though. That's what a rooster does.
I was going to sleep, so I needed to be woke up by the rooster in order to listen to your take, which is completely honest.
For sure. Yeah.
Complete garbage.
Great save there. Anyway, Joe Shiesty at offensive MVP and Cooper Kupp as my second, depending on how the Super Bowl goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's go, Ben.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't disagree too far from that, because if the Bengals do win it all and Burrow puts up good numbers, I could see where he has the potential to get Offensive Player of the Year. But I think if you look through the whole season, I personally would give it to, Cooper Kupp, but same two guys either way. Cooper Kupp, I just think it's hard not to give it to him at this point. The dude, do we even need to say anything about it? Every week we say the same thing. For the last 18 weeks, everyone's just like, yep, Cooper Kupp. Yep, 10 catches, 100 yards, touchdown. Yep, okay. What's he going to do next week? And then he does the same thing. You're like, cool, another week. And then he just puts it on repeat. Yeah. So
when I think about a lot of these awards, I think about consistency. Cooper Kupp consistently, week in and week out, played well. Joe Shiesty, I can't say that he week in, week out played well. And you can say whatever you want to say about Joe Shiesty, but you act like he's putting up insane numbers. He's not. He had a few good weeks that got him back into the MVP conversation late in the year. He had like 2 or 3 weeks,
but he's in the conversation.
That got him in the MVP conversation late because nobody really, in my opinion. I can't believe Aaron Rodgers is the main talk for this year at MVP, which we'll talk about in just a second. But I think Cooper Kupp is, and the reason I'm saying Joe Shiesty, you brought up the playoffs. Joe Burrow has not been, in my opinion, always been the main reason. It was 1916. The Titans had a chance to win that game if Ryan Tannehill doesn't turn the ball over because they had the ball late and they were driving, and Ryan Tannehill made a stupid Ryan Tannehill decision. But the Titans were in place to reverse that score and make it 1916 them. The Chiefs, he didn't show up in the first half very much. He didn't play that great in the first half that I recall. Now, did he play fairly well in the second half? Yes, but he still made stupid decisions too in the second half. That we can talk about too. Just some of the interceptions and opportunities that the Chiefs had on defense to stop them when they didn't. But I don't think Joe Burrow's played great situational. Like he's played great when he needs to. Yes, but consistent play throughout the game, I don't really think he's been consistent all year. Granted, he's put up good numbers, and I'm not trying to diss him, but the playoffs have not been. It hasn't been like a sensational playoff thing. It was for Patty Mahomes. If you look at the Bills, and then the first half of the Bengals game, and then if you look at the game before the Bills, the Steelers, he was putting up godly numbers. They were crazy. 5 touchdowns first weekend, 3 touchdowns second week against the Bills. He had 3 touchdowns this past week. Joe Burrow's not putting up those type of numbers, So that's where I just have to disagree with the offensive player year. And then I talked about Cooper Kupp. We agree. Cooper Kupp, I feel like he deserves offensive player of the year, if not MVP. The next one is kind of out of respect for me. And so unless y'all want to keep talking about offensive player of the year and you want to address any of my comments, you ready to move on?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So the MVP, I'll go first. I think statistically you can back this up. I think reputation, you can back this up. And I think respect-wise, as a fan, you should be able to back this up. Tom Brady put up good enough numbers to be MVP. Tom Brady has played 22 years in the NFL, has brought millions of fans, has made the Patriots organization into, not single-handedly, but has helped make the Patriots organization worth billions of dollars, millions of dollars, whatever it is, more than it was when he wasn't there. I think out of respect for him, I think he should be MVP. I'm worried Aaron Rodgers is going to win it. That's who I'm thinking and hearing is more than likely going to win it. I hope that's not the case because I feel like Tom Brady should win it, especially with the numbers that he put. I think Pro Football Focus ranks Tom Brady as the number 1 quarterback this year, and he should be the clear favorite based on their mathematical statistics, and a lot of people rely on Pro Football Focus, but I think it's Tom Brady, no question. That's just me, though, and Mike could throw in Cooper Kupp, but that's who I'm going with is Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'll follow that because I also am going Tom Brady. It's mostly out of his numbers this year for a 44-year-old guy. We just don't see that like we were talking about last week.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And I think it's also out of respect. Let him leave on, a high note. I mean, they went to the divisional round, and I think he's just an outstanding player. He helped shape the NFL the way it is today. I think he played great. Passing yards, pass touchdowns, just outstanding. He just never seems to not amaze people. But I think I'm also going Tom Brady, although I could see someone like Aaron Rodgers potentially take it over.
And I think he's going to win. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Aaron Rodgers. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, there's reasons. So I originally was thinking Cooper, maybe Cooper Kupp if Joe Burrow doesn't end up winning offensive. But Rodgers has put up stats that Tom Brady hasn't. And we can talk about respect, and we can talk about he's leaving. So, I mean, as a fan, we should understand and appreciate what he's done, and we can. But we can understand that with his Super Bowl rings. We can understand that like with what he's done throughout his career, and he's got a lot of appreciation.
You're talking about hold up. So
Tom Brady. I'm picking Aaron Rodgers.
Let's talk about your little spiel you had on Joe Burrow here.
Okay.
You told me the reason that he deserved to be Offensive Player of the Year is for what he did in the playoffs. That's part of your argument.
Right.
Now, if we use that argument, whose playoff career was better and lasted longer this year this year? Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady's?
Tom Brady's.
Okay, who had more passing yards? Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers.
Tom Brady had more passing yards this year.
Tom
Brady.
How he did?
Tom Brady I think he had 5,300.
How many interceptions did he have?
Aaron Rodgers had less interceptions, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't doing as much as Tom Brady was doing. Based on your logic, Tom Brady's the clear MVP if it's between those two in your eyes, because Aaron Rodgers did nothing in the playoffs. He did nothing. And you said Joey Burrow, the way he'd been playing in the playoffs, that's why he was an Offensive Player of the Year. I just wanted to point that out.
Fair
That's
point.
why I just wanted to point that out to you. And I'm not trying to shun your thing,
right.
but like that's based on what I'm saying. I don't see how you can argue that Aaron Rodgers is.
So let's look. I mean, at the passing stats, like we said, Aaron, he hasn't put up as many yards.
But he didn't put up as many touchdowns either.
How much does Brady have?
Brady had like in the 40s.
All right, I can give the numbers to you right here.
Okay.
Tom Brady had 5,316
Yeah.
passing yards. Aaron Rodgers had 4,115. So
It's not even close.
So what if we take?
But here's the thing. Here's the lop side to it. Rodgers did have a better record, and he had a better touchdown-interception ratio.
Yeah.
Rodgers was 37-4 with touchdowns to interceptions, and Brady was 43-12.
Right.
But here's the thing. Tom Brady threw the ball more too. And I will say this. I think off the field has some things to play with it as well. And the way Aaron Rodgers was off the field, I think Tom Brady deserves it.
Why off the field though?
The whole drama. I mean, he lied to the media about COVID. He didn't protect himself and his teammates. He didn't follow the procedures and guidelines that the NFL laid out. Now, the NFL not doing anything until 8 or 9 weeks into the season, I will not understand, and that's their fault. They had no right to suspend Aaron Rodgers. But he is an offense or an off-the-field liability. He is just constantly causing problems and issues. In my opinion, he's just drama. He's just drama, and that doesn't help your team win.
But
what he does in the offseason doesn't help your team win.
But these are all outside factors. Like I love talking. We can talk about the stats, but Rodgers has every right to do what he wants off the field. I mean, that's what he's known for. Like he's known for just being himself and just being that guy who holds strong opinions and sticks to them. And I respect that. He has the freedom to do that, and I don't think we should bring that into the MVP conversation at all.
And and that's fine. So that was my next question to you. When it comes to MVP, you answer this too, Ben. You first, actually, Ben, and then Braden, you answer it. Should we take only on the field stuff when it comes to all these awards and all these accomplishments that we do? I know that there is an award for off the field stuff that you do that the NFL presents, but do you think that we should just focus on the field stuff when it comes to this? Because what is our definition of MVP? Because what you do off the field can affect in a good or negative or positive or negative way can affect the way your team plays. So, I mean, what do you think goes into the MVP discussion?
Yeah, I think off the field matters a little bit, but I think they're mostly going to look at your value on the field. Because, I mean, you could be, just someone like, basically, you could be like a total jerk outside the locker room, outside the field. But if, you're putting up the numbers on the field and, you're actually doing what you're supposed to do, then I think that's a case where they'll just be like, I don't really like him, but he is good. I have the respect,
Yeah, and sorry I keep talking, but I just want to say one thing, Brayden, and then you add. Because if you look at somebody that I think about is T.O., they've given him a hard time about getting into the Hall of Fame because of his off-the-field stunts and off-the-field drama. If the Hall of Fame looks at it off the field, because T.O.'s numbers are top 5 in basically 5 or 6 different categories when it comes to receivers.
When you say T.O., who do you mean?
Terrell Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean,
just for
Skip Bayless calls him T.O. Team Obliterator. But, clearly they're taking off-the-field situations and off-the-field stuff. I mean, and when you look at Hall of Fame stuff, I mean, they take that off-the-field stuff into consideration, like gambling, steroids, different things when they make decisions.
But that does
on
affect your on the field.
They let in. So, like, why not when it comes to these type of things? Wow, I mean, because that's a career award. That's more important than a seasonal award. Why would those view those things as super important and not with the MVP?
If you're wanting to be like, I mean, if you want to look like a good guy, there's awards for that. Like if you want to be good off the field, there's awards for that. NFL Man of the Year. That's the award. If you're trying to be good off the field, like that's the one that Aaron Rodgers probably won't win, I guess, because he holds the views that he does. But which one would you rather have? The participation, sportsmanship type award. I'm not going to bring that award down at all. Like it's an amazing award, but it's not your on the field stats.
I'd throw that in the garbage.
No. The Man of the Year award is super important. And
I said participation. You talk about participation trophies. Those little things when I was in Little League, they go in the garbage, baby. They ain't going nowhere.
They go in the garbage, baby.
Garbage, baby.
The garbage. They go in the garbage. But yeah, anyway.
Garbage.
If like I'm saying, if you want an off the field award, Man of the Year is the award to do it. And the Packers have somebody selected. I don't know who it is, but they've got somebody selected for that, and it's not going to be Aaron. I mean,
definitely not the bad man.
I'm sure he's okay with that, but I'm sure he also does some good things off the field as well that we don't see because he gets so much crap just by the media and other outlets. But I'm for him. I love his views on. He just speaks freely, and that's what this country's about. Is just having the ability to do what you want freely. As long as you're not, harming anybody else. And I don't think he's really harmed anybody else except opposing defenses in the NFL. So.
Well, I will say this. I like what he said, or I like some of the comments that he made.
Right.
I don't like that he lied about being vaccinated. Just openly say you're unvaccinated.
Right.
But the problem I do have is the fact that he didn't follow the guidelines. Don't necessarily agree with all the guidelines. Don't think that they're all beneficial, but we're not jumping into politics. This is a sports podcast. But I think he should have been following the rules because that affected his team, COVID hitting, So I think that's just something that I feel like lingers and just kind of irritates me.
Right.
But, okay. I'm going to move on just for time's sake because I don't want to make this episode as long as is going right now. Yep. So we're just going to talk about some recent news. We're going to answer it fairly quickly. We're not going to have full-length discussions like we have on some of this other stuff. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get started on some of the recent news. 49ers, they're working to trade Jimmy G as well as Jimmy's rep. So they're working together to try to get things decided and find him a new home. Where that will be, who knows? Y'all have any quick couple second ads? What do you think? We talked about it a little bit. Where are you thinking?
Like I said, now that Brady's gone, this may be a hot take, but I think it'd go Bucks. I also think it's unlikely, but he could go Colts as well, because the Colts don't want Carson Wentz as their guy.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Wentz, Jimmy G has proved that he can do something in the playoffs.
Okay.
So I think Colts and Bucks are two potential landing spots.
Okay. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this. I'm still indifferent on it. I think he could potentially stay or potentially leave. Either way, not going to lie, I don't really care where you go, Jimmy G. I don't think you'll ever win another Super Bowl. So.
Oh, my gosh. Y'all tag him on Twitter and on YouTube.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to make clips as well.
Get it.
I'd love to be able to do that on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
And do that on like a TikTok page.
Anyway.
So yeah, sorry, completely off basis.
You're good.
But okay, so next topic. Brian Flores is suing the NFL due to racist discrimination while looking for a head coaching job. I saw some text between him and Bill Belichick. I saw some information that had been exchanged back and forth. Apparently Bill Belichick made a mistake, texted the wrong Brian about a job. But I've heard there's some investigating that they're doing right now to see if any of this is valid or true. So any comments y'all have on that?
You got it, Ben.
This one is a hot topic, a sensitive topic for some. Because he's filing for racial discrimination and unethical procedures. He's filing for both. I read a little bit about this, and I don't want to get too into it.
Is it a pile of garbage? Is there anything to it?
I think it's mostly unethical procedures. I think that's what it mostly is. If you look at like who the coach was for the Broncos before him and other things like that, his statements, in my opinion, don't really make that much sense towards being racist. But I think it's very unethical.
So you think Brian Flores doesn't have a case in this?
I don't see one towards the racially discriminated part.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
But unethical, yes, because when your head coach asks you to tank and asks you to pay, I'll pay you $100K to lose games, that's just unethical in my opinion.
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, that part. Yeah. I was talking about the racial aspect. No, I agree with you completely. I mean, this is this is a similar situation, and they'll probably make something out of this. But I mean, with the John Gruden, going through just information, going through files, and this is just opening up a whole nother can of worms. I'm sure we're going to find other emails from coaches. We're going to find other text messages from coaches that'll get somebody else in trouble this year. I'm sure it's going to happen, and I'm worried about these players. But we got to hurry. We got to get through this. Okay.
Can I get my take on that real quick?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Brady.
All right. So, according to The Athletic, they have a Brian Flores NFL lawsuit going. So the NFL released a statement saying the claims are without merit. And I think he has a right to be angry. He had a great second half of the season. He gave his team a chance. I don't know why they let him go. I was upset for Dolphins fans when they let him go. I don't know, however, I don't know what the racism that he claims, I don't know what that's based in. And I don't have enough facts on that to say whether or not it was racist or not, but I definitely think there were. If what he is saying is true, that Stephen Ross offered him $100K for each game he lost in 2019 to get a better draft position, if that's true, there definitely needs to be a lawsuit involved because we don't need that corruption in our league. I don't want to see it with my team. I don't want to see it with any team because that's just making a bad name for the league and it's allowing further corruption to seep in. But yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, these are always just such issues that are hard to talk about.
But it's good to talk about them.
Yeah,
I'd say.
we're not there. We don't know for sure
Exactly.
What's being said or what's being done. And Lord, if they're doing anything that's racist, they're terrible. I mean, like I can't stand those type of people. And
Right.
And I think in the world today, it's hard to sometimes not come across as racist in certain situations, though.
Right.
When I think intent, and I'm going to add this and then move on. I think intent is important, and I don't think necessarily the intent is always there, but they look for intent, and they they take things, misunderstand them, and say like, hey, I'm going to run with this because I'm mad that I lost my job. Not necessarily I lost my job because of racial discrimination, but I'm just pissed off that I lost my job, you know?
And like I said, like I would like to see the facts of why he says that they're racist before I make an opinion on that, because I don't know what happens behind those closed doors. We only know what happens on the sideline. That's all we see most times. So I can't make a good guess on why that happened.
Yeah. Okay. So this we don't really have to talk about this too much. A couple of these topics we definitely want to talk about, but LeBron was hurt again, so he could miss some games. The Lakers have had a very disappointing season. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But the Lakers have had a very disappointing season, so LeBron being hurt, it's not necessarily news with everybody else when they get hurt, but when it comes to LeBron, it's news because the Lakers have not been doing well, and he's looking to change that. But it's looking like he's going to have to take some time off, miss a few games. They're being careful with the ankle, apparently, per sources. So that's some news on the injury report. So Jim Harbaugh, Michigan guy, it's looking like he's headed to the NFL. I saw where he's being interviewed by the Minnesota Vikings. I'm just going to run through these guys. We're not going to really have any takes on these because these are just news. Jim Harbaugh, so he's headed to the NFL. It's looking like he may go to Minnesota. He's doing some looking, and he's doing some interviews from what I've heard so far. So I do want to get what I'm about to talk about next. I do want to get some of y'all's things really quickly. Mm-hmm. I saved these last two because I think they're interesting. So Caleb Williams is going to the USC from Oklahoma. Of course, Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma and went to USC. So, guys, Caleb Williams, fantastic quarterback, played very well, replaced Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler was was highly recalled, reclaimed, whatever you want to say, as a number one pick upcoming in the draft. Did not play well, came in, replaced him. Caleb Williams played well, looked like that he should have been the quarterback the whole entire time. But anyways, he's transferring, going to the USC with Lincoln Riley. And I kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion on the transfer portal and what's happening. Basically, you see a lot of these quarterbacks that are coming in, playing for a year, looking like studs, maybe winning Heisman, saying, hey, I'm going to enter the transfer portal, and it's now legal to pay these guys. So it's basically turning into free agency. It's a college free agency for highly talented players. I don't like it. I don't care for it, to be honest with you. I think it's a good conversation to have. I think if you can make money off of yourself, I feel like there should be some ability to do so. But where you draw the line and where you say, okay, this is where you're going to make money, this is where you're not going to make money, I feel like that's an interesting conversation. I don't really know how you would handle the situation, but I don't like the way it's headed. It's seeming more like everybody's going to be leaving teams, and it's going to turn into like an NFL somewhat vibe. And that's what I liked about the college football game. I thought it was very pure. We had money out of it. You had love for the game and your future. That's what you were fighting for. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know,
you weren't getting comfortable.
Yeah,
with the
you
salary.
weren't getting comfortable with the salary, and now this I feel like is going to turn more like the NFL, which I'm not hating on the NFL. The playoffs, great time to watch football.
Right, but this is college.
But this is college, and you know I enjoy watching college, and I love seeing these guys grow into NFL stars. But I feel like it takes some of the fun and enjoyment for me out of the game because I feel like it's just going to show that these kids are getting paid. Mm-hmm. You're going to have kids sitting out, which is what you're seeing more often. When they get to a bowl game that they don't really want to play in, they sit out, you know.
Even though they're getting paid.
And I mean, and it's hard for me to hate on it because you're playing to get money in a lot of cases. You're playing to make millions of dollars. And when you are close to your dream, to take a chance on hurting yourself badly, it's not super smart. But, you know, like just all these things with college, man. Like, what do y'all think about the transfer portal? Do you think it's a good idea what they're doing now that they're able to throw money at these guys? Do you think that's something that's good for college football?
I personally don't see that as a great idea.
Me either. I agree with you.
I mean, I think college athletes already get. I mean, granted, yeah, sure, maybe they do deserve a little more than they currently get, but they still get a lot more than people think.
Right, they
Currently.
get scholarships.
Scholarships, free stuff.
Under the table,
Mhm,
there's so much cheating. There's every team does it in some sort of
Yes.
regard. It's just whether you get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, baby.
But yeah, I think I thought a good point you brought up too was where they would fight to earn it. You know, they all play because they're fighting for their future. They want those big contracts, so they're going to play every game with their heart out, and that's what That's why a lot of people usually, if they had to pick between college football and NFL, they usually side towards college football a little bit because every single person on that team wants to be there. They want to go to the next level, and they want to secure the bag after college, and that's what they have been doing for years, earning their spots. And it's great to watch great athletes go out there and perform or just give their best every week. But yeah, I just don't think it's a great idea, and I guess that's my take on it.
I agree. I think I don't think college players should be getting paid, and I think they should fight for their position. I'm just in agreement with you guys, so we can move on to the next thing.
Yeah. One thing I will add is, how do you determine who makes what? I mean, are you gonna pay offensive linemen a certain salary and pay quarterbacks 3 or 4 times more? Like, I mean, are you gonna try to do like an NFL scheme if it does? And to be honest, guys, this is probably where we're heading in 10 to 15 years.
I hope
we're
not.
probably headed to where every position, everybody's gonna make some sort of money.
They bring in money. Like, don't get me wrong, they bring in money.
Yeah,
the ability's there to pay some of these players, but it's just the concept. It's not.
Yeah,
it's just how it's has been working. So why are we adding money into this?
Yeah.
I think what you do on the field, if you're able to go out and sell your autograph for 10,000 or do something like that, you should be allowed to do that. I think so. But when it comes to your play on the field, like getting incentives or different things like that, and I think you got to find a happy medium, draw the line, don't go too far over, because I feel like it can be converted to the dark side, and we don't want that.
No.
Because it takes some of the beauty out of college football and college sports in general, because, I mean, college sports, all of them are going to be headed this way here in a little bit. Okay, so the biggest news, somewhat a shock, not really a shock. We talked about it last week. Tom Brady, he hung his cleats up, called it quits. Man. I don't know if y'all saw this, but I was looking on Twitter and I saw this video Eli Manning posted.
I didn't see it. What happened in the video?
Bro, okay, so Eli just basically said, "Congratulations on your retirement." And he was like, "Thank you for graciously letting me win a couple of those Super Bowls from you." I was like, Tom Brady's watching this, sitting there thinking, USOB. Oh my goodness, I'm so mad at you. So yeah, sorry. But yeah, so anyways, great career. Highly regarded as probably the top quarterback to ever play. I don't think, I mean, Danny, y'all disagree with that? No. I would consider him the best quarterback to ever play. I don't think we're gonna see anybody put up the statistics and numbers that he has.
I've got an idea of who could do that.
Okay, well, we may. Dear Lord, I cannot deal with you anymore.
I'm not even a Bengals fan.
I cannot deal with you. That team puts you out of the playoffs, and you're sitting here just really, honestly.
I guess it's the journalist in me
you
who
are
tries
like
to not
the
pick
biggest
sides.
fangirl. I'm not even going to say fanboy. Fangirl of Joe Burrow right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty embarrassing.
Well, hey.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
Hey, well, I'm not embarrassed, so.
Well, I mean, you do you, brother, man.
I hope you're
but anyways, back to Tom Brady.
All right.
Okay, so I think you can possibly take a little bit away from his career with Deflategate. That's just kind of opinionated. Don't really know how much was involved with that. I don't personally take much away from it. I don't know how much he knew or didn't know, but that's definitely something that could be talked about and addressed when it comes to maybe things that might damage his image when it comes to his career. But through and through, Tom Brady was durable, consistent, hardworking, determined, and a leader. You know, he wasn't just a great player, he was a leader. And that showed week in, week out. And a lot of people might have problems with some of the tantrums he had on the sidelines, different things, but Tom Brady knew how to inspire his team. Tom Brady knew how to light a match in his team. And that's why Tom Brady is the most successful football player to ever play. Has won more Super Bowls by himself, statistically, than any team, which is amazing. So I don't think there will ever be a Tom Brady statistically that will play till 44, that will throw for as many yards and throw for as many touchdowns and lead in the categories that he leads in. He leads in, I think I looked at it the other day, I think it's 8 to 12 categories when it comes to passing and statistics. Playoff wins. And the dude is just crazy. He's just crazy what he's done for his career. And the fact that I was able to watch it and see it was really cool.
Great job, Tom.
Yeah,
Great job.
Respect to you, man. You were the GOAT. Y'all have anything to add?
Fun to watch, hard to play against.
Yeah.
I think that's just a good way to sum it up. Mm-hmm. As non-Patriot, non-Bucs fans, I think we all agree that, yeah, he's a great, fun guy to watch in the playoffs when you're not playing against him.
Yep.
But once you can root for him, I guess, every now and then. I know we all learned to hate the Patriots once at a certain point, just because they had Tom Brady. Now we don't hate him as much, but we still don't hate Tom Brady. We definitely respect him and respect what he's done. So good for him. I hope he has a good just rest of his years with his wife and his kids, and starts living.
What you got, Ben?
Yeah, it's about the same. It's just going to be hard. I mean, I say that, but I mean, I'm just going to keep watching the games like normal every week. But it's just going to be different without Tom Brady out there. It's just, I'm 22. My whole life I've grown up watching Tom Brady play in the NFL, and it's weird seeing this generation of great quarterbacks just all retiring. Tom Brady, Big Ben, the Manning brothers, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers. It's weird watching all the quarterbacks you grew up watching retire.
And I think that's just that's the stage of life we're in, and it happens it happened for older guys who grew up with like Brett Favre and guys like that. So, and now it's just hitting us, and now we're getting older, and we're starting to see our favorites start to retire. But and for the younger generation, it'll be guys like Joe Burrow. It'll be
Patrick Mahomes, Justin
Herbert, Josh Allen. It'll be
those guys.
all these guys. The younger generation's growing up to see retire. So it's got to happen for everybody. And with us, it happens with one of the best, and not the best, Tom Brady. So.
We didn't really talk about Big Ben much retiring, but I saw a nice little video that he put out this week or this past weekend on Twitter. So congrats to him too. But again, we were taking this moment to talk about Tom Brady. Great quarterback. I think he's a great guy off the field from what I feel like he's a pretty good guy off the field. I know he's got a lot going on, but hey guys, let's give an applause to good old Tom Brady.
Yep. Let's give an applause.
Well, I said let's give an applause. It's not playing. Is there?
All right.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. We'll just give our own applause.
Good job, Tom.
Good job, Brady.
Good job. Fun to watch,
that was
to
so
play against.
awkward. What in the world are we doing, guys? Okay.
We're doing a podcast.
Okay. You don't have to be smart about things. Okay. Look.
Go on.
Just stop. You get 2 predictions right, and you get the big head, and you think you can just keep on talking. I'm not here for it, buddy. Okay.
Thanks, your buddy.
What you want to? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
NBA. Okay. So let's talk about the 3 NBA champion favorites that we have per person. Me and Ben are big basketball guys. I don't think Braden is a huge basketball guy. Are you?
I'm not. But I dabble.
Okay. We'll try to hit this fairly quickly because I know we're kind of running time pretty high right now. So Ben, let's start with you. What you thinking?
For my 3 NBA champion favorites, I'm I'm a Thunder fan, but I've left us off completely. Just being realistic. So my 3 NBA champion favorites that I could see winning it as of right now, either the Milwaukee Bucks, the Chicago Bulls, or the Phoenix Suns. They have a lot of weapons, each team. I just think they have the talent to pull it off.
Yeah, I have some similarities in my list. I was thinking about it. I mean, there was teams, of course, I might put on there, like the Nets could make a late push. The Milwaukee Bucks, I got to throw them. These are two that I were thinking about putting on there. But my 3 that I'm going to go with would be the Warriors, the Suns, and the Bulls. Right now, I think the Bulls have a 4-headed monster. To be real, I was about to say 3. I don't know that I'll say 4. Lonzo is playing well. He's doing what he needs to do. But you got Nikola Vucevic. You got DeMar DeRozan, who's playing at MVP level, and you have, of course, Zach LaVine, who's also, to be honest, playing at an MVP level. And then you got that guy from the Lakers that we don't have to talk about. But anyways, so the Bulls, the Suns, I mean, they're basically the same team that they had last year when they made it to the finals. And honestly, they're just playing better. Booker's looking improved. I know he's been hurt some of the season, but he's looking improved. He's looking like he's going to make a run for MVP possibly too, you know. So he's playing great. Chris Paul's doing Chris Paul things like normal. And then we also have the Warriors. We got Klay Thompson coming back. We know we have Draymond Green who's going to be coming back. We got key pieces off the bench. We got Poole. Mm-hmm. We've got and the name slipped my head. But anyways, we got Klay Thompson back healthy playing. And of course we have Steph, who just had a huge game the other night, dropped 20 in the fourth quarter. Went crazy against the Houston Rockets, I believe. Mm-hmm. Anyways, they won. He dropped 41. He got out of his slump that he was in. So you have the Warriors. And so those are my 3 favorites. Braden, do you have anything you want to say, add? Okay.
I think Western Conference leaders are looking a lot better than your Eastern Conference leaders. You have 3 teams with 32 wins in the Eastern Conference. You've got the Bulls, you've got the Heat, and you've got the Bucks. You've also got the 76ers and the Cavs sitting in there with 31 wins apiece. So that's going to be tight. I know the Bucks succeed in this next half of the season right before playoffs. And we know that they have the ability to go on and win it. But looking at the Western Conference, I think the Suns, holding only 9 losses and 41 wins, right now are looking like the favorite to win it all, just based on the numbers. But the Warriors are there too, and I'm a Grizzlies fan, as I said, so of course I would like to see them go far.
Your Grizzlies are playing really well.
They are.
They're doing really well. They played even well when Ja Morant got hurt, which was a surprise. Right. So your Grizzlies are a good basketball team.
Right. I definitely agree, and I'm glad they are this year. And I'm excited to see what the postseason holds for them. But yeah, I think. But as I said, that's 30. Grizzlies sit at 35 wins, and the highest win count in the Eastern Conference is 32. So I think it can be. It's going to be they're going to be duking it out. The top 3 spots in the Western is going to be Suns, Warriors, Grizzlies. It'll be a fun fight to watch here in the playoffs. And but I think maybe from Eastern Conference, your one to make it would be the Bucks. That's my pick. The Bucks make it from the East. I say Suns make it from the West. Even though I'm a Grizzlies fan, I think it'll be. So yeah, Suns, Bucks. I think
Suns say that. We're going to talk about that another time. What we think about but just those are so right now. Those are some of the champion favorites that we have. So Ben, Braden, I'll let you just head off this one. You can continue talking about it.
Okay.
Who would your 3 NBA letdowns be so far?
Well, I think there's I think the Lakers are the obvious letdown of the season for both sides. We expected them to do really well with the weapons that they had, and they just really haven't really done it. I think the Celtics are better than they're playing. And Well, yeah, I think they are, and then also the Hornets. They're a really good basketball team, and I really like their players. I wish their win count was a little higher, and I think they have the ability to do that, even though they're fighting in a hard conference. Amongst the Nets, the Bucks, the Heat, the Bulls, and the 76ers, like they're fighting hard in this conference. They're 18-12 in the conference, but I think just for me, I would like to see them doing more with what they've got. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of young talent. They've got a bright future, and they've kind of turned it around a little bit, and I like that. But I'd like to see them do a little more.
Yeah. Was that 3?
Yes, I think it was the Lakers, and then the Hornets, and then of course the
Celtics. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Ben, what you got?
Yeah, of course. I also have the Lakers. Granted, LeBron has missed some games. AD has missed a little over a month maybe. I know because I also have him on fantasy, so I wish you would stay healthy. But Russell's been out there just about every game. He's missed just a couple. But they're just not meshing like people thought they would. But, I mean, then again, I think a lot of people didn't think they would because Russell and LeBron both need the ball. That's just the type of players they are, and it's hard to share that responsibility when you're used to having it. Even AD needs the ball. But, I mean, they're 3 strong guys, fast, physical. They're 3 all-stars. I mean, we know what each and every one of them can do, and they're just not getting it done right now. But, so, yeah, of course, the Lakers. And then, believe it or not, I'm going Nets. KD is hurt. Kyrie, just please play basketball. That's all I have to say to you, Kyrie. Just please play basketball. And James Harden has been doing fairly well. He's missed a few games, but Harden's looking a lot better this year. But just as a 29-21 record, with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, you're like, what in the world? What are y'all doing? But hopefully they'll pick it up. I think they're a super fun team to watch once they're all 3 on the court. But then for my third one, I'm going the Pacers. I'm a huge Sabonis guy, and Buddy is balling out again. I love DeMontis. He works so hard.
Hey, guys, he walks around with the Sabonis jersey on.
That's right.
He does.
And
He's
I'm
a huge fan.
Not even a Pacers fan, but hey, Sabonis, I love you. But
if you're hearing this,
basically. But the Pacers are 19-33, and I get it. TJ Warren's been out all year, big part of their team. Sabonis has missed a couple weeks due to calf, but Malcolm Brogdon's also been out for a few weeks, and then I think Turner's missed a couple games. But outside of that, when those 4 guys are on the court, along with the others they have, how do you have 19 wins? I'm just curious. I just figured they would do a little bit better than they're doing. I thought it's been disappointing, and now there's been reports of just wiping the team and starting over, including Sabonis being traded.
Yeah.
I have my own separate thoughts on that for another day, but that would be my third one, the Indiana Pacers.
Okay. So I like both of y'all's lists. So we agree on 2 of our teams, Brady. So I have the Lakers. Let's just be honest. I didn't think before the season started, and I don't know about you, Ben. I don't know about you, Brayden. I didn't think this was going to work. Russell Westbrook is not a shooter. That's what LeBron needs, shooters. Excuse me.
I'll agree on that.
The trade for Buddy Hield would have been a much better idea. Would have fit well with what LeBron does. The drive, let me kick it out to you. I'm a great passer. I can pass the ball. I'm one of the greatest passers to ever play this game. Let me have the opportunity to pass out to a shooter. And right now, LeBron has – so the 3 of the starting 5, when they've been healthy, aren't very good shooters. LeBron's not a very good shooter. Russell Westbrook's not a good shooter. Anthony Davis isn't a good shooter. And it's hard to win in the NBA because it is a 3-point-driven league now. But it's hard to win in the NBA when you're not able to shoot. Now, they have Carmelo Anthony who can step in and make some shots. Mm-hmm. They've had a few players. What's his name? Give me just a second. What's his name? He's
Young
been
white guy?
shooting well. No, but Reeves, he's been doing decent for him. Let me find it. Hold up. There we go. We're getting there.
So
So they have Avery Bradley, and they've had Stanley Johnson as well. But Ellington, he's a shooter. There's somebody else though that I'm trying to get to.
how are they performing?
Malik Monk. That's who I was trying.
Okay.
Malik Monk has stepped up, has looked very good,
Recently,
or very well for them in certain games. So, I mean, maybe they can flip things around. I don't know what you're going to do because
to do it. It's like
Russell Westbrook is not a.
He proved himself the other night.
He's not a champion. He's not a champion. He's not a winner.
Well,
he's a statistical guy. He's a me guy. I'll look good when I'm by myself and I have other people that I can pass it to occasionally to score. But if you just give me the ball and let me do me, that's how he wants to play. He wants to have the usage rate. He wants to have all these things. But what he doesn't realize is when you, Russell Westbrook, when you take the ball, you're also taking the ball away from LeBron. You're taking the ball away from Anthony Davis.
I don't think he does take the ball away from them. I think he when he doesn't perform, he passes the ball off. When he starts to get in a rut, he does. He gets a lot of crap. And
he's leading the league in turnovers, Braden. He's leading the league by a long shot in turnovers.
Well, he handles the ball a lot.
He can't shoot. That's what I'm saying.
And that's one of the reasons the Lakers are a letdown.
Yeah, LeBron is a point guard. LeBron is a point forward.
You think so?
Yes.
A point guard?
He's a point forward. That's what they call it nowadays. They call it a point forward. So he takes the ball and he'll be the guy that is passed the ball to, and he'll dribble it up the court usually and set the offense up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, LeBron at age 37, 38?
Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. LeBron needs somebody that can do that, but Russell Westbrook is not that guy because Russell Westbrook makes stupid decisions. He doesn't know how to take care of the ball. He's not smart with the ball. He makes ill-advised passes. He shoots the ball at ill-advised times. Russell Westbrook's game does not blend well with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I'm sorry to say it, but the only way this team is going to be successful, and I said this from the beginning, they should have started Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo's not a shooter, but he is smart with the ball, plays decent defense. Russell Westbrook, I forgot to add this, he doesn't play any defense. So the Lakers, Russell Westbrook's been their biggest problem, in my opinion. Second, I have the Hawks. I don't have to really get into a whole spiel about them. They have a losing record right now. And they were battling out to be, what was it? They got to the conference championship.
The Bucks.
Yeah, but they were battling with the Bucks to go from there to a losing record now. Just not the start you would want to have. They're probably going to make some changes by the trade deadline. And of course, my last team is the Celtics. They have been mediocre this year. One game they'll show up, the next game they won't. I will say this. Things are looking up a little bit. Their efficiency rating is going up. This past month, they ranked in the top 5. So they have a winning record now, thank goodness. I believe they're 27-25. They got a pretty good stretch of games coming up. Hopefully Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams. Hopefully we can get that train going. Mm-hmm. We can make a late surge. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see how that goes. Okay, but let's hurry up and get out of here. 3 NBA teams that could make a late playoff championship push. Ben, go.
I'm going Hawks. Hawks have great weapons. Trae Young. I said it last year. I said that's not a team you want to play, and it's hilarious because I have a friend that's a Knicks fan. He said we want the Hawks because they beat them in the regular season, but no siree. Postseason's a different story. I'm still riding it out. I think the Hawks can make that push. But then I'm also going with the Heat. They have so many weapons. Bam, Jimmy, Olad if he comes back. But, they got a couple shooters, Hero, Duncan. Kyle Lowry's there as well. I think they have a great team that could possibly make that late playoff push if they play good team ball. And then I'm going Warriors for my third option because it's Steph Curry. How can we not? I mean, Buddy drops 40 like it's nothing, like he's shooting free throws.
Clay too.
Clay's back. Draymond's there, especially if Wiseman comes back. Wiggins is starting to look a little better. So, going Warriors for my third.
Sure. I definitely pick the Grizzlies. I think they have the talent. They have the drive to do it. And I want to see them do it. Like I said earlier, I think the Bucks are another team who sitting fifth in their conference right now, but with 30 tied for first with the wins. They're just a team who knows how to get it done, and they will get it done, I think. And then the Nets, of course, if Kyrie starts playing like we said, and those three guys, and Kevin Durant starts balling out, and he has been balling out. But if he continues to do that at a little higher level, and everybody's just passing the ball around scoring, it's going to be a dangerous team to play in the playoffs. So I've got Grizzlies, Bucks, Nets.
Okay, I like y'all's takes. I will say this. When I thought about this list, I thought about teams that necessarily we weren't thinking of. I'm thinking Warriors are looking good. I feel pretty solid about them making it far. So that's kind of why they wouldn't be on my list. Grizzlies are sitting pretty good too. They're looking pretty good. The reason I added one of these teams is because not really many people are talking about them, but they're playing really good and they're doing really well and they're close to being at the top of their division. So my three teams, Boston Celtics to start off with. Again, I said they have a nice little schedule coming up. They have some teams that they should be able to beat. I'm hoping they can get on hopefully a 7 to 10 game win streak, kind of push themselves into the higher seed a little bit. Move on up there, kind of catch some rhythm, play together. We've had Jaylen Brown out. Occasionally we've had Jason Tatum out due to COVID, due to injuries. So we've had some issues. Hopefully these two can gel together. I know there's been some trade rumors about Jaylen Brown possibly being traded. I think we have two bright stars. I think they're very, very young. I think they got a lot of experience and time that they need to experience in order to develop and be the players I think they can be in the future. So I think you keep that core intact. So I feel good about them possibly making a run here late. I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have played outstanding basketball. They're young. They're very talented.
I agree.
They are very talented. They know how to play. They get down. They play defense. They play hard. They're young. They added a veteran presence in Rajon Rondo. They have Kevin Love. They have Darius Garland. They have Allen, the center, Jared Allen. He's playing great basketball. They have a great young team. I could see them very easily, I won't say very easily, but I could see them being a threat to some of the teams in the playoffs.
I agree.
Especially the way the Nets are playing right now. And so my third and final team would be the Dallas Mavericks. I think if Luka can get in shape, him and Kristaps, they haven't gelled well at times together. But if they can kind of hopefully figure this out with Jason Kidd at the helm now, I think they have a shot at making a run for it, making things interesting. I think the Dallas Mavericks can score and play with the best of them. I don't see any reason why they can't. So those are my three teams. There's the NBA. We talked about the NBA a little bit today. I think this was a great show, guys. I had a great time. So anything else y'all would like to add before we get out of here?
No, thanks, guys, for listening. Be sure to leave a review, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. But anyways, thank you so much for listening. And this is the 3B Podcast.
Yeah, guys, appreciate it. Y'all have a good rest of your day, good night, whatever time, wherever you're listening to this. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.